to me.
Information, news, and entertainment on demand.
WSRadio.com.
Welcome to Girls Talk Rock, where the musician's creativity finds its voice. And here are your hosts, Tracy Smith and Beth Venus.
This is Tracy Smith, and I'm with Beth Venus, we are coming live from the Coach House, San Juan Capistrano. We've got a really super exciting show for you guys tonight, but first let me mention that we are carried by Enter Talk Radio Network, and we are so proud and so pleased to be a part of such a small part of this huge exploding radio network. We're ready to rumble. We've got a bunch of new shows coming up, and tonight we wanted to talk to our guests, and we need to let Beth know that she needs to let us all know who's our guest tonight.
Well, we want to let everybody know first that we're at the wonderful Legacy Showcase venue, the Coach House in beautiful San Juan Capistrano. This is near my stomping grounds in South Orange County. We're from North San Diego.
Yes.
And, for those of you who are our listeners in San Diego, it's a little bit like a cross between the Belly Up and, I'd say the Music House, I guess, but older and, has a little more going on.
But wiser, old and
wiser. And so a really great crew of people working here. Right before us, we have with us the beautiful and talented Rebecca Jade. She is supporting Javier Colon tonight.
Yay.
For a night of acoustic bliss. How are you? Welcome.
Doing well. Thank you so much. So glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
This is amazing. Yes, this is such a great location. And like she said, legacy artists are rolling through all day and all night through the Coach House. We need to tell you some of the people that are coming up because we can't even begin to say. So we've got Leon Russell coming up. We've got Puddle of Mud coming up.
Yummy, delicious. I hope he shows up.
We have a Justin Hayward. We have Queen Nation, which is the best Queen tribute. We have Al Di Meola. We got to talk about Al Di Meola's tour because Intertalk Radio is directly involved with Al Di Meola on the Intertalk network.
Yes.
And he will be going live from different locations all around the United States and maybe the world. We don't know yet, but it's basically on tour with Al Di Meola. So, since Intertalk's a big part of that, and he is coming out to the Coach House, we thought we would mention that real quick. All right, let's get down to talking to Rebecca. What do you say, Rebecca?
I'm taking pictures.
She's taking pictures.
Yeah.
We went welcoming Rebecca in, and we were asking, you're just a busy woman and you play all over the place, but this is the first time you're a Coach House virgin.
Yes, I am.
So she gets
no longer after tonight.
It's a great stage. Yeah. Tell us about what a typical month is for you, and if it's mostly in the regional or if you're starting to travel more extensively with your tour.
Right now, it's mostly regional, mostly here in San Diego, I should say. And but we are working on plans to travel and looking at even internationally. So that's on the short horizon, hopefully.
I like it. So, we got to hook up with Javier, and maybe we'll just get you looked up with them.
That'd be great.
Part of the things now, you are playing tonight with a keyboardist. Guitarist. Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so when you usually play, is that your preference to have an acoustic style showcase, or do you prefer a bigger, more textured, big bang sound?
It really depends. I like to suit the venue, and try to accommodate whatever is what the look is, and so it's really, I don't actually do the kind of acoustic set as much, but it's really nice. It's such an open and exposed experience, versus the upbeat dancing and drums and horns and stuff, which I also do love. So I'm not taking away from that at all, and I do a lot of that. I do that typically. So it's a nice switch up to be able to do this kind of a setting, which is nice.
Yeah, for all of our fans listening and for everybody that knows you down in San Diego, why don't you tell us some of the things that some of the groups you're working with and some of the things that you are doing, genre and all that?
Sure, yeah. Well, I do a lot of cover band stuff. I'm currently slowly transitioning into more original work, which has been great, and I'm really enjoying that process. But I'm in I'm in my original project. One of them is called Rebecca, Jade, and the Cold Fact. So it's a 6-piece band, 4-piece rhythm section, and a percussionist and myself.
Excellent.
That genre is like a vintage soul, along the lines of Sharon Jones and, or like somebody more modern, probably like Alabama Shakes, kind of that.
Very hip right now.
Yeah. So
it's very much in it, hearing you say that, I really like knowing that we've got artists who are kind of like really on the hot trend of like what's fun and different. For artists who have been playing a long time, whether you were trained classically or you learned in your bedroom in the garage or wherever, to be able to bend and twist and play with different musicians, you kind of stretch yourself.
Absolutely.
I love that Alabama Shake sound. I think it's so sexy.
Yeah.
I hope we hold on to that. Do you think that transcends into some of your original work? Because that's kind of the timing of when you're doing a lot of.
Well, I think I was approached actually by Alfred Howard to do this soul project. We're affiliated with so Al Howard, Josh Rice, and Matt Malarius. They started Redwoods Music.
Nice.
And so it's an independent record label in San Diego. And the cool part is that they're kind of focusing on the kind of like the old Stax record label process of having like a core band and then having different singers. So they have like kind of these different sounds with some of these other singers, but they didn't have like that soul sound that he was like, I really want to do like a soul album. Are you down to do that? So, so that kind of is where it spawned. And it opened my eyes really to that genre. I really learned a lot from them just being a part of that and learning and trying these songs, Well,
so. That's interesting. I'm curious, and I know Tracy's thinking the same thing I am. We're always like symbiotic.
Yes.
But, as an artist, when you're trying to brand yourself so that you can sell yourself, and those artists out there, don't be angry at me that I'm saying this because we all know it's true. We got to brand you, right? We want to sell you. We want to pigeonhole you so we can sell you. And you're trying a lot of different things. Has it been a more valuable, I know I say valuable in a fiscal way, to spread yourself out? Or has it been like something you test drive and so you can really see what's getting the best response to really get a good paycheck for your work?
Well, that's a good question. And that's I'm able to make a living as a singer. So I don't know if so financially, to pay the bills, yes. Am I looking for bigger, payoff? Yes. So I mean, maybe it's a way of fine tuning and getting a little bit more specific, and that's probably why it's been great to focus on the original music as kind of a new facet in my life. I've been doing lots of cover bands, and I take from all that, those experiences, those songs, and learning from all that, and that will, of course, be an influence in my music because it's just become a part of my life, but yeah, I think it could be a catch-22. It's like I'm learning a lot and I love the genre, and yet I have a heavy jazz background. So I would love to my goal is to definitely do like a jazz album at some point. It's a hard answer, right?
That's really cool. So one thing I wanted to ask was, because I know you and I know what you're doing currently, tell us a little bit about what you're doing with K-Flow, because he's one of my favorites.
He's funny. He's one of my dear friends. And,
of course.
He and I've been working together for many years now. We were working on a girl group project back in probably 7-8 years ago. Didn't work out. But I was like, hey, I'm still here. Don't forget about me, and so we've maintained the working relationship and of course, just been great friends for many years. So I know he has a lot of stuff going on that he doesn't even really tell me, but he just calls me because he's like, hey, I still want you involved. I can't tell you what's kind of going on.
I got this thing, right?
But I have this thing that I'm doing,
awesome.
And I want you involved. And I'm like, cool. And I'm always like, yes, yes.
And that's great that he knows that he can go ahead and call you and bring you in on that and just let's rock this thing, girl. And you always do.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thanks. Yeah, he's amazing.
Now, here's the other question is, while you're mentioning you're doing your original work and you're going to do a set for us tonight, which I just love a great acoustic set, because I just think it's just clear and concise on vocals, and people really get to hear you.
Yeah.
Instead
there's no hiding.
Yeah, there's no hiding behind that big guitar solo or that wonderful bass that is thumping under everybody's buns.
Yeah.
But while you're doing that, are you going back to your cover and your tribute and your casino work and all that kind of stuff? Or is it something that you think you'll really set that aside so you can go full home run on your original work?
Well, it'll have to be a transition, you know, of course, because the only way I feel like I could do that, unless I get a huge sponsor of some sort to like go, hey, Rebecca, we want you to just do original music. I
think that was a shout out for an endorsement.
Here's $100,000 to just, you know, go be you, write music and, you know, then I would love to just do that and then work on the original music and then tour and travel. I'm ready for that part, you know. But no, right now it's just a transition phase, you know, stage. And so it's been wonderful having in 2011, I had no albums, and then I had a friend who reached out to me, and then we released an album in 2011 and then a second one in with a different group, but the Cold Fact project was in 2014. And we're actually coming out with a new album too that should be out probably the end of this year with Cold Fact. So,
let's talk about those albums. Let's talk about where our fans and everybody can get a copy of. Is this on iTunes or are these hard copies?
So, yeah,
are you guys into vinyl?
Yeah, well, actually, we are into vinyl. Which is cool.
I gotta ask, a jazz girl.
this project, the first album is not on vinyl. We have it CDs, and it is on Bandcamp and also iTunes. But the second album, pretty much the two of the other groups in Redwoods released their recent albums on vinyl. So I'm going to put in a petition that our next one is also.
How cool.
But it's really cool. And we already have most of the songs ready to go. We just need to get in the studio and record them. So it's really close to being done, and it's really good. It's a really good project.
What studio do you think are you going to be using?
So we recorded the last project at Audio Design. They're in like kind of college area. So Jordan Andreen, great sound engineer. And
well,
we always like to give those sound engineers a shout out, right, Rodney? Yeah.
Well, as a solo artist, do you find yourself wanting to work with a different trio or quattro or 9-piece or whatever you're working with for that, or do you have a core group that you really rely on to fulfill your sound?
Well, the folks in the Redwoods, there's already a band there, which is you know, beautiful, and we're already in a cohesive unit, which is awesome. When I have other songs that I'm doing and I'm writing, I do work with different musicians.
Yeah.
What I would think, or if somebody suggests that and seems like it's the best fit for that style. You know, I'm not going to get somebody who's like a funk somebody who for a jazz thing.
For flamenco,
you know what I mean? It's just, it might not be the best suit, but I'm going to get somebody who's got that jazz. You know, that just a heavy jazz element, and that I'm going to get them for that jazz stuff. You know what I mean?
So it's really fresh.
And I'm very grateful. I have a huge catalog of musicians that I can call upon that I know that are in San Diego that are amazing musicians. And it's just been great. It's great.
Well, we want to, we have somebody who really wants to know about some of the things you were doing with the San Diego, the Gulls, the hockey team.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, because that's kind of a big deal if you're from San Diego, and anywhere who has a team, it's a big deal. So tell us about that.
Sure. That opportunity came up through Pacific Records, who is the record label I'm currently signed with as well. So they are... They wrote a jingle. They're affiliated with the sports arena. They work with the sports arena, and so they were commissioned to do a jingle for the Gulls.
For the team, yeah.
And so they had a bunch of their artists that are signed on the label to try it, sing a demo of it and see who they liked. And so they liked my version. Excellent. And so they played my version of the song for the whole season.
How awesome cool is that?
That is way cool.
Those are the baby steps to becoming and I've got, of course, we got Rodney here. You've been to a few of those games. I think.
He's getting a shout out right now. Rodney,
we know you're a hockey fan.
Aside from calling her and texting her while I was at the game going, oh my God, I just saw you. And she's like, where? I'm like, at the hockey game.
At the game. Hello.
I did that. I was like, yeah, you did. You're kind of really big on the screen right now. And it sounded amazing. And I love it.
Thank you very much.
And these are the little things. We were just saying at the end of our last broadcast that Girls Talk Rock, of course, is very female-centric. And we really want to focus on women in the industry, even though we have plenty of men coming and going who are part of our shows and all the rest. But really, it's interesting to me how I think as the women in the industry, these baby steps that you take, your name recognition, the sound recognition, and the network recognition that comes with doing a project like that. Do you think it really ties you into a broader network that'll reach out for you for future projects when you do kind of a big fun thing like that, but your name is everywhere?
Yeah, it's hard to see like how that might pay off. You know what I mean? Like I don't see it like going like, hey, Rebecca, I hear you. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's kind of part of the system, but I know it's for a bigger cause, and I know that in the long run it'll pay. I believe it would pay off.
So like word of mouth kind of.
Word of mouth kind of thing,
or
just another resume builder kind of thing, and going like, yeah, I did that, and had that experience. And then that's where you rely on the record label to hopefully help push that, as their job too, to help make, go like, hey, this is our artist. She was good enough that, the Gulls picked her to, you know what I mean? Like, so
I think it's huge. I think the competition is really high. And and even projects like that, I'm not going to ask you about dollars and cents for any particular project, but even when there's different rates of compensation, I think just being compelled to be part of things is really important.
I agree.
And so many,
because it's not always going to be cost. It's not going to be a monetary cost. There might be a benefit that outweighs the financial.
And while we're on this subject, Beth and I, we really are concerned about females getting a voice in the industry, and that's why Girls Talk Rock is here, is to give that voice to females in the industry and guys, but we like to focus on girls. But we always ask this question though: what do you think about you personally being a woman in a man's world, so to speak, when it comes to the industry? Because we like to get everybody's take on that.
Well, I feel like I've been very fortunate. I grew up as a very athletic kid, so I seem to have picked up a lot of male, quote unquote, male traits, where like and it sounds funny, I've always gotten along with guys. I've always been in sports, and it just was, I seem to kind of connect with guys.
Sure. A little bit of a tomboy.
I'm very much a tomboy.
So are we. That's great.
So that in a way helped me to, be able to kind of communicate with men in their language, and then be comfortable enough, but still be comfortable enough in my own skin as I grew older, being confident in being a woman, because I was also very much a tomboy, and I was so much a tomboy that I almost didn't know how to be a girl.
There you go. I've never worn a dress. I was the football captain, whatever.
It's a great, and I think we relate to anybody who's working in music, but I'm really looking at it on a more like visceral level, where I know as a female artist, no matter what you're doing, whether you're Sheila E. playing your bongos or you are down front singing lead, there's going to be that time where someone's going to hand you a dress or a look that they want. And gentlemen, yes, it happens to us more than you, so shut the front door. They'll go, yeah, me too, I'd lose 10 pounds. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about like really crazy stuff.
Yes.
Have you had a few of those moments that you were able to, be really diplomatic about because of that background you have, or?
I think in general, I'm pretty diplomatic.
Yeah. Or you didn't have to be. You can
almost
take a hike too.
Almost to a fault.
Yeah.
Like, taking my husband sometimes, just be like, you can be a little, you're too nice, and so it's like, no, I think it just varies, but in general, I've been really, very, very fortunate
with that.
Very fortunate with that. If I think I'm understanding your question,
of course,
I'm not sure if I'm.
It's hard to ask. We're on radio right now, but of course, those of you who can download and look at Rebecca Jade, go online to her website, and she's a beautiful inside and out. And actually, your guitarist is looking to see if you can get a little sound check. Rebecca, why don't you go ahead and go down, make sure you get a little sound check. Do y'all need her for a sound check? Well, we're going to take care of that. Of course, we're live from the Coach House right now, so we want to make sure everybody's happy you're listening. And I'm asking Rebecca Jade, basically, has anybody ever said to her, show me more boobies, put more makeup on, cut it, trim it, heels, certain look, don't do this, do this. Has that been something you've had to overcome a little bit?
Not so much. In a couple of the bands that I'm in, like one in particular, that is part of the draw. It's called Siren's Crush, and we dress, we dress sexy, but not trashy, and it's a matter of, that's part of the appeal. It's 3 women that stand up and sing their tails off, and and do choreography and they look sexy. You know what I mean?
Fun.
So that's part of the appeal. So with that being said, that's still an important part, you know, I mean,
Absolutely.
but at the same time, I'm also a grown woman, you know, it's like, you know, and so it's been something to definitely keep in mind. And I know that is always a factor. You know, people hear with their eyes sometimes.
Yes.
You know, so it's unfortunate that that's such a factor, but you know, being on stage, it is something I keep in mind, but I don't revolve my performance life around it.
Right. Yeah, because as a societal kind of thing, I mean, women are, you know, objectified and sex sells, and we all know this, and so that's sex why we
sells. Well, I'm getting in on that.
Right.
Wow,
where's my money?
Well, we have so much that, you know, I'm kind of getting into kind of a sensitive range here because, you know, that transcends into money too. Hey, Ronnie, can we find out if they need her for a sound check down there? Her guitarist is sitting there. I want to make sure. Those of you listening, we want to make sure everybody's taken care of. This is pre-show sound check and live radio show at the Coach House in San Juan Capistrano. And we want to make sure our support here is where she needs to be. For a wonderful show with Javier Colon tonight. So, you know, I think that transcends into cash flow, though. And that's one of the things I think we were talking about the great women artists of all the, even if you look at the schedule at any venue, you'll notice, you know, it is male heavy. And instrumentally, it's very male heavy, and getting more women to be recognized and seen as artists and professional players. I think I see that more as I'm a behind the scenes person, of course, as everybody knows, and I'm down front when I can. And we see really, what are your feelings on that? Like, how many women artists do you work with, like in the studio, or guitar players or lead bass players? We don't stumble across as many as we ought to.
Hardly.
And I'm always thinking, what can we do, you know, to bring them out, you know,
to get the accolades, that they deserve.
Well, you know, and also I was just had this conversation. We just started this beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna kind of jump around a little bit if I can keep my focus. That's good. So, being in this band, Siren's Crush, had really opened my eyes a lot. I learned how to feel more sexy, be attractive. You know what I mean? And kind of have that as really a focal point. Cause I know that's an important part, I should say, not a focal point, but that's an important part. And to carry that confidence,
entertainment
confidence. That being said, in cold fact, it's not as much of a thing. I'm the only female in the band, but I could probably come out in a burqa sack and it'd be like, oh, she's being creative, and you know what I mean? Like,
artsy.
It's artsy. Yeah. Like with that band, it's like not really about attire and how you look and the sex appeal and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure it probably subconsciously helps maybe, but I don't go there like trying to, it's a different mindset. You know, with that band, it's about the art. It's about the music. And it is with the other bands too. I'm not taking away from that, but the mindset's different. The clientele is different, you know, so it's kind of appeasing to to who's going to come to see you, you know.
Yeah, and the production and everything else.
And all that stuff. Yeah. And then, but that conversation kind of came up in this, there's this lady named, Anna Danes, who's trying to bring together all these ladies in jazz, the jazz divas.
I know Anna, yes.
Yeah, and so she's trying to start this movement with all the women singers in San Diego.
I like it.
And it was just an amazing. She's just getting it started. It's just, you know, but and that was kind of like a conversation. It's just like, you know, and what the part that I have an issue with is that with a lot of people have an issue with is they're taking music out of school. So how are we gonna encourage our youth to be creative if there's like, it's the avenues are getting less and less. So it's already a male dominant world, and now you're eliminating a huge step into that world, to that opportunity. And so now that's why I think there's so many less women already. And there already is. I mean, it's growing, you know, but it's hard. It's harder, you know.
And you don't see very many younger girls wanting to be like shredders and, you know, like a Ronnie Lee.
Or Arinthi.
Yeah, that's right. Or Jennifer Batten, you know, I mean.
Jennifer Batten.
And of course, you know, Kat Dyson, who played with Prince, and we had her on the show a little while back, and she was just absolutely amazing to listen to, because these kind of people, Marcella Detroit as well, been there, done that. Totally wide open interview with them, and it was just beautiful.
But you know, Rebecca, you bring up a really interesting point, because Tracy, you mentioned some amazing people, and women of kind of a wide age range too. And I used to joke about a glass ceiling, but I think it's acrylic. I think, there's it's harder to crash through. You can kind of crack because there's so much talent out there. And we were actually talking about it earlier. I think sometimes if you are a working musician, like say you're a pianist or a guitarist, they don't see you as a vocalist. They really just see you as a vocalist only, where, and I've experienced that from my end of things way more than I'd like to say. And I'm more of a, casino corporate gal. And it's like, what? To see them get out there. And I also see a double standard with looks, and that's why I asked about it, because I think it's a hot subject, because a lot of these guys look like they rolled out of bed and like they're meth addicts, and they slept in their jeans and they're
tattered shirts and
asking
pants.
us to get all dolled up. So the double standard sometimes is pretty strong. And that goes from the bar scene all the way up to casino and venue acts. Do you think that's part of it, or where women are just like, oh gosh, you have to be everything to everybody?
Like we feel like we have to look good.
Yeah, I don't.
That's hard. I know.
I don't know, and it depends. Like I said, I've been, again, I feel very fortunate. One of the few, I work in a handful of bands, but like Siren's Crush has always been about high standard. So all the guys look great. The girls look great. Like it's all around. Like everybody, it's a package deal thing. You know what I mean?
Yes, I sell it. Yeah.
In my band, I also started a band called the Soul Tones, because I wanted to see what it's like to run a band. I wanted to learn that.
Good girl,
and just see, like, okay, and it's a blank load of work. You know,
it is.
But I wanted that experience, and with that too, I have a high level of expectations that I have of the people that I hire. And there's been a bunch of people that have worked in the band, but like that came with the core band that we kind of fell into. It came down to chemistry and because that's going to come across on stage. So, you know what I mean? And so then I do lots of corporate work, you know what I mean? And so with those bands, there's like all about the guys are in tuxes or suits. And then of course, and I'm usually the only female. And so I'm in a nice dress. So it's like, I feel like I've been very fortunate to where it's like, but
professional
very
scene.
professional scene. And then even with, like I said, with Cold Fact, like we're a beginning band, not beginning, because we've been around for a few years now, but like it's a different mindset. We do clubs and we do festivals and we do, you know what I mean? And so that's like, we're like our original thing. And so,
and you also had your San Diego Music Awards for a few years in a row where you were winners, and that was great.
So and so it's, so even with that, we're able to kind of have our own original style to come from that,
Well, do you feel like with that you have more agency? You have more agency? Oh, we have a guest coming on board. This is so great. Walking to the room, we have Javier Colon. Come in and welcome. This is Rebecca Jade. She is your support tonight.
Very nice to meet you.
And we are just welcoming you for just even a couple of minutes. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, good to be here. Sorry, I'm late joining the party. How are
That's
you?
all right. Just pull up a bench. We're ready to talk.
Yeah, how's it going?
He's a handsome devil
amazing.
So we just have to say that since we're on radio. Y'all might not pick up on that.
Very kind. I'm in my golf attire right now. After
That's cool. Wait, just do it. Just do it.
That's right.
He's got the Nike gear on.
Nike stuff, actually. Yeah.
Amazing. So how are you doing tonight? You ready to do this big show? And what are you thinking?
Ready to rock. Always nice to be here. In San Juan Capistrano. Last time I was here was about 4 years ago, and I've missed it. I love this room. I think it sounds great. I just love the vibe, and it's awesome. So I'm excited.
It's beautiful. Your warm up and your sound check sounded really great.
Sounded okay.
We are thrilled. We're acoustic fans. Now, tonight, you're not bringing a full band. You have a modified acoustic set,
it's me,
which should be so intimate tonight. How did you design your set tonight? And, of course, Rebecca has the same thing going on, so we're very excited.
Yes, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited to hear you tonight, Rebecca.
She's amazing. She's amazing.
I just met Dylan downstairs.
Cool,
and we got to chat for a second, but I so look forward to hearing you.
Thank you. Well, I did get a chance to hear you recently. We we actually didn't get a chance to cross paths, but I was on the Dave Koz cruise.
Oh, you
as
what?
well. But we just never. But I saw
Small
you.
world.
How is that possible?
I know. I saw everybody else, and the
We're
only
like-
person I didn't get cross
There
paths
it is.
with
We're at
was
sea
you.
for 7 days
7
with
days,
nowhere to go.
and we never
are you
crossed.
kidding me?
We never crossed paths.
That's crazy.
I know.
You needed Intertalk.
I was in the.
radio.
You
I
did.
I was in the party band.
Okay.
Yeah. So we did.
How was
yeah.
that?
He's just
I
in
know.
awe because she's
No,
awesome.
believe me, I was, because, you're taking pictures with
Right,
everybody and
right.
just getting to
And
know
you're doing-
everybody and stuff. And I was like, this is the
Now that-
only person, when I saw that you
now
were on
that
the
you
thing.
say that, I think I saw you. I think I saw you.
Yeah.
See,
Were you
he
wearing
saw
your
you.
hair out?
Yeah.
See, I saw
I'm going to
you.
puff it out
Yes.
even more
Dang
tonight.
it,
But
I
yeah.
saw you. I didn't know you, but
Yeah.
now I'm
No,
so
I know.
I'm so sad.
We're getting
that-
our hair all
Yeah.
puffy here on Girls Talk Rock. We love it.
I
We
don't
love
know.
it.
You have no hair,
I don't-
Rodney. No fluff for you.
Yeah.
Rodney's puffing
I'm
up
fluffy in
anyway.
other ways. But we were asking really about you doing great, pieces I know that you love. But is your song selection for your acoustic set basically the songs you love just taken down a notch, or is it songs that you think sound great just in an acoustic setting?
For me, it's a little bit of both. Some of the songs that I'm playing. This is like the Gravity tour. My new album is called Gravity. So
Yeah.
Awesome.
we're kind of touring to support that record, and some of the songs that I'm playing tonight in their original form are not just acoustic. They have acoustic elements in them, but a lot of them are fully produced with a bunch of different stuff going on. So but this one of the things I love to do is kind of break it down and bring things down to to an acoustic level, because if you can do it just solo acoustic and vocal,
Absolutely.
then you can do it any which way. So I like to be able to, and that's how a lot of the times how I write the songs in the first place, is either sitting at the piano or sitting with the guitar. So if they work in that setting, then you can kind of bring them up as big as you want to, but you can always bring them back and them just be how you started them. So.
And where is this tour taking you? Tell us about all your stops, because people are listening and they'll go see you along the way.
Yes, well, we're kind of wrapping up this leg of it, but we were in San Diego last night. We're here tonight. We're in Los Angeles at the Mint tomorrow night, which is Thursday night, and then I've got a couple days off, and we do Seattle on Sunday night and Portland, Oregon on Monday night. And then I fly from there to Greenville, South Carolina to do a golf tournament thing that I'm a part of, the BMW Charity Pro-Am.
Wonderful.
And then after...
Awesome.
Are you playing in it?
I am. I'm playing some golf in it. And then
See,
I'm,
that's
Right.
really
Do a little
cool. We got a
singing.
multi-talented guy here.
well, a little
Another
singing, a little
athlete.
golf. That's kind of like, that's...
Perfect.
That's
What's better?
fun.
Nothing better.
There's nothing better than that. You get to play golf and you get to, do a show at night. It's pretty awesome dream life stuff right there.
Well, tell us about some of the amazing things that you did on The Voice, because we know you were a Voice winner, and we got to hear about all that, because that's my favorite show, is The Voice.
It is a fun show, and I love that. It was awesome. It was an amazing opportunity for me, obviously, and going into it, I never thought I was going to really win. I mean, I'd hoped that I would have a chance, but in the music business, you learn after years and years of being in the music business that things don't go your way. They just never do.
More times not, yeah.
So you just kind of condition yourself to expect that things will not go your way. And just before I left for The Voice, or I even got the first email about The Voice, I had been, we were in talks with a record label, and I really thought that they were going to sign me, and we were kind of going back and forth, and I thought that it was a done deal, and they ended up passing on me after meeting with them like 3 times and doing a showcase for them, or several showcases for them, and they ended up passing, and that was kind of like a dagger to me. I was like, okay, well, that might be the end of my career. Because,
I bet they regret that, though.
well, they did call after they seen
I bet they did.
when they saw me on that first first
bet.
commercial of The Voice. They were like, this might be a game changer. And I'm like, it's too
You
late.
missed.
Yeah,
You missed
Too late
out.
for you,
sorry.
yeah.
You snooze,
Well,
you lose.
obviously,
Yeah.
The Voice was a huge game changer for you.
Yes.
Since then, what has been another a career epiphany moment for you since then?
One of my favorite moments, was touring with Maroon 5 in South America. We actually did Mexico first. We did 3 shows in Mexico, and then from there we went to South America, and we went to Brazil, and we did 3 shows in Brazil. We did Paraguay, Argentina, Chile, and it was in Peru, and it was phenomenal. So amazing to be able to have that opportunity to open for them and to perform, with them
on a massive stage,
on a massive scale. Yes, on a massive scale in front of 35,000 people a night. It was, that's what dreams are made of, right there.
So you got a taste of these big, much bigger stages. And
absolutely.
Did you find that your performance, just the first time you got out there, I was just watching the documentary, wonderful documentary, Don't Stop Believing, about Arnell, who replaced, came in for.
I totally have to watch
that. It's a great documentary, but one of the most interesting parts about it is that his first show was in front of about 35,000 people.
Right.
And the band is loving him because he's singing well, but he's spazzing out, just racing from one end of the stage to the other, getting out of breath.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he's got to reach a high D in his chest register, and they're like, no. Right. So did you find yourself your adrenaline rush pick up like that?
I mean, the adrenaline was definitely up, and just to have that many people to entertain and to be in front of is a rush in itself. And the thing about Latin America is that, like, they are, these fans are like ravenous for music. I mean, you get out there, I was going out there as the opener, and they were screaming like I was Justin Bieber. It was insane. It was just.
Well, you're the winner of The Voice. Well, it's bigger than Justin Bieber. Come on.
I don't know about that, but they just made you feel love instantly. And
awesome.
Another thing is you go and you see. I would watch. After my set was done, and I'd be watching Maroon 5, and I'd look out. Into the audience. I kind of stand in the middle and just look around at everybody, and there's not a single person that is not moving, that is not dancing, like with no inhibitions. Like they just were having fun, completely free, and didn't care what they looked like. It was just having a good time and not worrying about no cares in the world. And I remember trying to do that same thing at shows in the US, and it's not like that. It's not the same.
We're fronting. We're too cool for that.
Well, some people are a little too cool, but it's just not the same. It's not the same spirit. And I think also too, because they don't get as much music as we do. We're spoiled here. We've got shows going through every city in this country pretty much. You got a lot of shows coming through, but there it's like people come every couple years or whatever, or every 3, 4, 5 years, and that's it. And I think that resonates to and it translates into them just being really genuinely excited that you're there, and it's awesome. Yeah,
and now that you're at this level, tell us what it's like to have that recognition that you didn't have before, as before anybody knew your name or anything else. That's all the struggles that you went through.
I mean, there's lots of struggles, lots of chapters in my life and in my career. With having had a record deal before that, and even before that, being in the Derek Trucks band as a lead singer for a couple of years before I got my deal. Lots of different episodes of my life, and this by far has been the most beneficial to me and to my career, is having been on The Voice and having won The Voice. Anytime you can get in front of 16 million people,
of course,
in their households on a weekly basis, and you have them genuinely rooting for you to succeed is an amazing thing.
That's a huge part of what I was going to ask you next.
Yeah.
Was, when you're on a program like The Voice, and that's, of course, just one part of your career, because as a musician, you said you've had so many, denials and doors shut and then welcomes.
Right.
But I think there's something really transcendent about being the underdog on one of those shows, because everybody can relate so well to you. And then if you are successful on the program, they really see you as they're so happy and excited through you for that success. And do you think that's really transcended into your career now, where people are just really feel connected to you?
I get a lot of stories from folks that of folks that had watched the show with their families. And I mean, even, I've got some folks that are coming tonight that hit me on Facebook that they're excited to bring their daughter to the show because she was rooting for me on the show when I was on this, 5 years ago, obviously, and that I was, was their favorite winner. And like, they have stories that, they shared as a family that I was a part of, that they want to share with me. And it's awesome to get to be a part of people's lives. And I've talked to folks that, several folks that have come to me or have sent me messages saying that, I used to watch this show with my mom and now she's passed, and I think of you and when I hear this song, and it's just things like that you realize how many people you're touching without really knowing it, at the time, and it's awesome. I love hearing folks, their personal stories and really getting to connect with people in that way, because I'm a very, family-oriented guy, and to hear these stories, and so many people saying that, this was our family show. This is the show that when it comes on, the whole family gets together, no matter what we're doing. My high school teens, or they come in, and this is what we do together, and you were a part of that, and I thank you for being somebody that we could root for every week, and I love that. It really makes you feel good.
And then remind us, who was your coach?
Adam Levine.
Oh, Adam Levine. There you go. So Maroon 5. There you go, our buddy.
A connection
we
right
love
there.
Adam. We love Adam. How was it to work with him, by the way?
He was great. He was awesome. Super great, down to earth human being, and amazingly talented. I mean, he can play every instrument and sing his face off like
he's got a nice
nobody's
range.
business.
Yep.
He sure does. He's awesome. He was awesome on the show. He's been awesome since. Like I said, the Maroon 5 tour that I did was because he just wanted to bring me out. He wanted to help in whatever way he could, and he was like, "Come with us." And I'm like, "Okay."
Has that inspired you to, and now that you're having international success and you're playing all different size stages, from intimate venues to larger stadiums, whether you're supporting Maroon 5 or doing something with a group, do you find yourself seeking out artists that will be there for support or to work with you, that inspire you to kind of to work with, so you can be that same docent?
Absolutely. He just left this tour actually, but the first part he was opening for us, my friend Ernie Halter, who is such a beast. He is absolutely incredible. He's an amazing singer, songwriter, pianist, guitarist, and just an all-around amazing guy, and a family guy like myself. He's got 3 kids, and so we have a lot in common, and he is just amazing. He's such a great singer, great songwriter, and so he was opening up for the last few shows of actually maybe 6 or 7 shows on this tour before we got to the West Coast, and he's awesome. And anytime that I can bring him out to do anything, I want to, because he's he's known by a lot of people, and I just hope to do my part and try to expose him to some more people that might not be aware of him, because he's phenomenal. Another guy that opened for me on my last tour, his name is Reed Waddle. Check him out. He's awesome as well. I love introducing artists. Rebecca Correa, a good friend of mine that I went to college with. I met her in college at the Hart School of Music in Connecticut. She is phenomenal, and love having her open as well. So
it's been a big part of your path.
It absolutely is, to be able to give folks an opportunity to get to sing in front of some folks that they might not, get a chance to. So it's awesome just to be able to do that, for your friends. It's just
what a great strength.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sweetie. We're talking.
Oh no, I was going to say, give us some links and tell us where we can find you if people don't know where to find you already.
Yes,
they ought to.
Yes, you can. You obviously, I'm on Facebook and Instagram. As my name on there is just Javier Colon Music on Facebook and Instagram. On Twitter, it's Havs Twitter, JAVSTWTR. Don't ask me why I did that complicated thing.
Sounds good to me.
It sounds good. And then my website, which has all that information, is just javiercolon.com. And you can just go there and you can see when my upcoming shows are and watch some videos. And we've got a new video for the single, which is called Gravity. It's
a great video
that we love. Thank you.
It's featured, and I was watching the video, you're doing some acting too, which is really
awesome.
cool.
We're watching
and that really talks about you kind of expanding your career. I'm sure getting noticed by, all kinds of entertainment industry people. But more importantly, it kind of maybe suggests to some of your fans a direction maybe in the future of what you're pursuing a little more. Tell us if that's something we can look forward to in the future.
I would love to do some acting stuff in the future. I did a lot of musical theater. My first year at college, I was a music theater major. So acting and theater, and that's always been a huge part of my life.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's funny, if I didn't have an album coming out, actually, if I didn't have an album that just came out, I would probably be auditioning for Hamilton on Broadway, because I am in love with that show. So yeah, it's a big part of me that I don't want to kind of let slip away. I mean, I've achieved one of my dreams, which is to become a recording artist and to get to share my music with so many people. But another dream I've had since I was a kid was to be on Broadway and to be an actor as well. So yeah, so hopefully you'll see that in the future.
The thespian side about the stage.
Hopefully that's coming up for you.
Yes, I hope so. I hope so too.
I like to hear it. So for our listeners out there, we all know that you have many talents, but it doesn't mean just because you've had some amazing success that you still aren't striving to do more and experience a different range of people.
Absolutely.
Wow, I could just see you in Hamilton. I think you'd be great.
Come on. Let's do it.
They'll get you on the tour, I'm sure. Is there anything you want to share with our guests? Of course, we're out of San Diego, but we are national.
Yes.
That we can share with our guests with Enter Talk and the entire station that you want to share with us what you're doing after this tour is done and you're moving forward with Gravity. What's the next step?
The next step is just to keep touring. Really, is to get out the word, to get out the music. Really, the new album is something that we're going to hopefully support for the next year before we start kind of working on a new one and that whole thing. But we want to take it internationally. I've got some. It's crazy that, what Twitter and what social media does. But like I see that my songs are being played in Bali and in Indonesia and
nice.
it's amazing. And so these are places that I want to go, and I want to visit these radio stations. I want to say thank you, and I want to do shows for the fans that are now getting exposed to my music that weren't exposed to it before. Yeah. So I've got a lot of work to do, and I'm looking forward to getting out there and seeing some folks, and singing for some folks that I have not had the opportunity to yet.
That's awesome.
You guys probably noticed Rebecca Jade took a little hiatus. She went back off the stage to do a sound check. We wanted to say thank you before we're going to finish our show with Rebecca, and we just want to say thank you so much to Javier Colon.
Very welcome.
I hope you keep in touch with us, and
Absolutely.
Especially when you're in Southern California, I'll just keep messaging you.
I love it.
I'll say it's Bethy. Hey, it's
Yes,
Bethy. It's Rip Kitty.
And I just want to throw this out there because we're Girls Talk Rock. It would be nice if you would do something with Rebecca on stage. Bring her up with you and have her do something with you tonight on stage.
We'll see. We'll have to see.
Once you hear this girl sing, you're going to want to do that.
We're proud because she's from San Diego.
I guarantee you're going to want to.
We're just throwing that out there because
just pick a little duet.
She's all
just
that.
Bring her up. Just, seriously.
No pressure from Girls Talk Rock. Okay, Chris, we think
no
she's
pressure at all, but she does sing with the best people. So.
No,
we love her.
She's phenomenal. I remember her on the show. On the
He's like, I was on a cruise ship with her.
But I had seen you from afar, and I was like, what's that over there? Singing Face Off.
Damn, girl. So
yes,
it's going to be a great show.
It's amazing. No, thank you. Thank you so much. I look forward to it. I look forward to Rebecca throwing down, and we're gonna have a good time.
Have fun here at the Coach House, San Juan Capistrano. If you want to check out Javier's finishing his schedule and his tour, do go online and check out. If you're not roaming down here tonight, see where you can catch him before this part of the Gravity tour concludes. Thanks so much.
Thank you, guys.
We're so happy to have you.
So glad to be here. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
So thrilled.
We're continuing here with Girls Talk Rock. We have one little segment left, and we just wanted to say thank you, of course, to Rebecca Jade. Welcome back from your sound check, and thank you so much to Javier. He came to share with us the upcoming events here. He's smooth, even talking on the mic. I'm just like,
he is. I can't wait to hear him.
It's delicious, so I'll take it. So, are you ready to? You've got your sound check going, and she's already stunning, which is irrelevant, but she is, and she's gonna go in and do her thing. I'm sure in the green room. Tell us about your set tonight.
So, kind of made me think about like what you all were asking, Javier, and I was trying to work with some songs that I know that I tried to pick songs that are like kind of a wide range, but so it's not the same sound, you know what I mean? Because it's going to be hard having just vocal and guitar. So I tried to find some stuff that's a little bit so a couple songs are soulful. There's one that's kind of a neo soul thing, through, and of course some originals that that we have coming out and stuff, or that are already on the album, and I just tried to kind of give a nice enough variety that that will hopefully appease
you.
to represent me, all, but also appease to maybe the different people in the audience. So it's like some people like R&B or some people like soul. Hopefully it kind of covers.
This is going to be a great audience
and I want you to give your links, like we had Javier give his links, so that people know where to find you and your stuff.
I just updated my calendar on my website, and it's simply RebeccaJade.com. And all my social media is Lady Rebecca Jade. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram is all / Lady Rebecca Jade. Try to keep it simple. And the only one that's different is my YouTube channel, and that's just Rebecca Jade Music. So
now, I've got a great question that the fans would love to hear.
Okay.
If you had any tour that you could get onto and just be part of that tour and be touring with that other band or artist, who would it be?
Besides Javier Colon.
Yes, besides Javier.
Because he's like...
And Prince.
And
Prince and Michael Jackson, because they're out.
Prince would have been one of them, I would have said, too.
Right.
I kind of have this... There's a couple of new singers that I've been turned on to, that they're kind of newer in the scene. Not newer, but they're making their moves,
Yeah.
I'm in love with this girl's voice, and sadly, it's going to sound very egotistical, kind of. But the reason I even got turned on to her was because somebody told me that she reminds them of me.
Oh, there you go. There's no ego
so
there.
It is a little bit, because it's
no.
like, but I love her sound. I love it. She plays guitar. And her name is Leon Lahavis, and she's an English British singer. And
we'll have to look that up.
She's just great. She's young. She writes her own music, and it's like, even, I just like her, and so, and she's part of that, like, just that kind of a new wave of music, she's just that singer-songwriter. A lot of it's just guitar driven. She probably writes, obviously, a lot of her songs to me, it seems like, she sits and writes on guitar. And I don't know. I just like her style, it's different than mine. So that's why
we're all fans of somebody, right?
Yeah.
Like,
and we want to end with some Quattro questions.
We do. Okay. So
we make everybody go through the Quattro questions.
For our listeners, this is how we do. So we're so happy to have you here, and we're so lucky to get Javier, and it worked out, and you got a sound check. It's just serendipitous how time went tonight.
Totally.
We're just so pleased. After this, we're not playing tonight, so what do we get to do? We get to have dinner and a drink while we wait for everybody else.
Dinner and a drink.
What a joy, and enjoy a wonderful show with you. But we always end
with our Quattro.
With Quattro questions. Okay, Tracy, you're going to start this puppy.
I'm just going to ask a random Quattro question. If you were any mixed drink, which mixed drink are you and why?
I'm a Long Island, and it's just because there's a lot of different flavors in it, and I feel like that's what I also bring. I have lots of different flavors.
We're all about the flavor.
She's delicious. Well, because I come from this genre, if you were stuck in either jazz or pop, what would you stay in the rest of your life?
Jazz.
She would stay with the jazz people. Dissonant chords. That's it. Sevenths and fourths.
Right.
The rest of your life.
and why I feel like I probably between the two would go jazz is also because jazz is also morphing. Yes. And a lot of it has that. Some of it can definitely cross over and have still that quote unquote pop element to it. But like somebody like Layla Hathaway, that's the first person I think of as that beautiful crossover between jazz and R&B and kind of pop, Yeah. But she's killing it.
All right, here we go. Next question. If you're any superhero, what is your superpower, and what's the name of your what's the name of your superhero?
Oh,
and she dressed as a superhero before I was there.
I know. That's why I'm asking.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna kind of borrow from one of the bands that I'm in, and it would probably I'd be a siren, and my power would be some sort of either like a high screech that will make people
break glass. Yes, I was thinking that before you said it.
Make their ears bleed or something.
Mozart high C.
or I would lull them. I'd have that. They'd have the reverse effect of like a
little
like
lullaby
a whisper
that put them to sleep.
Yeah,
there you go.
I like that. I think that's a great character. We need to make that happen.
Yes, siren
right away. And we're going to really close with asking, what is your favorite kind of a stage to be on? Is it a venue like this that holds like 600 that feels very intimate, but it holds a bigger house? Or do you like really the club and lounge scene where you actually have an intimate group of people around you? What do you find more enjoyable?
I'm learning that I like, like I said, the original aspect of that kind of singer-songwriter feel is it's really new to me. So I'm very accustomed to, kind of like the larger, festivals and stuff like that. That stuff's cool. But I do like, and the times that I've had these experiences, I've really enjoyed them. So it's nice to have that kind of, intimate, like the CD release parties. Like I've had mostly they're people, they're my friends and family that have come, and it's like 300, 400 people, and you're just like, it's like, wow, you came out to see, like, I feel like those are very rewarding. And also, and then as you start to build your fan base, then it's like people you don't know, and they're singing your songs. Like I envision that for my very near future, that there's songs that I come up with that people are gonna.
Rodney, you gonna sing along?
That people know,
We are going to sing along.
You know how it is. You're singing songs that you hear on the radio, and you're seeing somebody perform them, and you sing along, and it's like, I want that one day. That my songs are catchy enough that people that they're popular enough that people know them.
All right. Well, we have to say that this is Girls Talk Rock. We are coming live from San Juan Capistrano, the Coach House, which is a legacy venue. We were here tonight with two of the most amazing singer-songwriters, Javier Colon and Rebecca Jade. And we also want to say thank you, shout out to our sound man, Rodney, Silver Tiger Production. He was not fired. He was not fired tonight, which is a good thing. And, cause he has been every other night. But we want to give a shout out. We want to give a shout out also to Moe's Guitars, because they're one of our major sponsors. We want to give a shout out to She Rocks the Planet. We want to give a shout out to Play It Like a Girl Records. We want to give a shout out to Mike Ruggiello Guitar Instruction and SD3. Yes, and we want to give a shout out to, of course, Red Giant Promo, Playcam, and Studio at CCMA, because that's Beth. She's all about Studio at CCMA, brick and mortar. Been there for 14 years in North County. You need to look that up. You need to hit her up and get some lessons going over there with her.
Some rehearsal time right now. And Groove Kitty. And
we're
all wearing our Groove Kitty shirts.
Right.
And, I got to tell you.
Shout out to Groove Kitty.
Before we close out, Rebecca has this wonderful dress on that is a cheetah print. What did I say? Cheetah print.
And I'm a cheetah. I'm a cheetah.
So we're all kitties tonight.
Yay. What can I say?
We are all kitties tonight. So thank you so much from Girls Talk Rock and Enter Talk Radio, the worldwide international leader in entertainment talk.
That's right.
We are girls.
And we're building it.
We're Tracy Smith
and Beth Venus. And we are Girls Talk Rock.
Here with Rebecca Jade. Come back and see us.
Thank y'all for having me.
Thank you so much for everybody being here tonight. We'll see you guys next week.